Hey guys, it's been a while since you last saw me. Basically this video is just to explain why that is. So a lot of things have actually happened to me since my last video. In my last video I think I was doing the fitness and nutrition plan. Long story short, there wasn't actually a lot more to tell about that. Basically I was losing weight really slowly, but I was losing it. I was toning up so well, I was looking fantastic, I was looking really taut, and then I did my back in during an aerial class, which was my own fault. I decided to try and cheat on a move, and that cheat caused me to sprain the muscles around my spine, which meant that for the final 6 weeks of the nutrition plan, I physically couldn't do any exercise. I stuck to the nutrition plan and still lost weight slowly, but I was losing motivation. I was starting to binge eat again. I was starting to comfort eat again. A lot of things went wrong, basically. And so by the end of the plan, I was straight back to square one through my own idiot devices. One of the reasons you haven't seen me in a while is because of actually Jason's computer. I was actually having to use his computer to edit my videos and upload them and everything else. And every time I tried to make a video or edit a video, his computer would crash. And so it was useless. Sometimes it would save my work, sometimes it wouldn't. Sometimes it would crash halfway through making something and then would corrupt half the video footage that I did. It was just a nightmare and it wasn't worth losing half my content in my videos for it. So I scrapped that. And because of that, I've not made any videos for quite some time. We do have a new computer now, so I can actually make videos again, which is so nice, but at the same time, it's going to be a bit of a change, and I'll explain that in a minute. Number two reason as to why I've been a bit MIA is because in work I've been covering a lot of shifts. The fellow receptionist had a lot of time off, a lot of holidays, and so I've been covering a lot of her shifts, which meant I've been working extra days. I've been doing 7-day weeks. On several occasions I did 10-day weeks, which was hard. Very, very hard. My brain was fried by the end of it. One of the animal care assistants also had holidays. It's technically the nurse's job to cover her holidays. However, both nurses were busy, so I ended up covering the holidays. I've been absolutely knackered. I've been working every single day almost for about a month. The third reason I've not been on, and probably the biggest change in my life, is the fact that I lost my job. I made a mistake, one mistake, and I got told by the fellow staff members, don't worry, don't panic, it's going to be okay, people have done this mistake in the past, they've just got a slap on the wrist and carried on, and just go in there and when you have your meeting just apologise, say it was a mistake, it was an honest mistake, which it wasn't an honest mistake. I did all the security checks and unfortunately the mistake still happened. And unfortunately it was a pretty big mistake, but like I said, the other staff members said to me, other people have made the mistake before, it's going to be fine, it's going to be okay. And when I went home the day after making the mistake, I actually said to Jason, I'm going to get fired over this. And he said, no you won't, you'll be fine, you'll be fine. And then I went in the next day and the office door, which is usually open all day long, was closed, and it remained closed for the first 3 hours of the day, which instantly sent alarm bells off in my head. And I even said to my colleagues, I've got a feeling they're going to get rid of me over this. And they were like, no they won't, people have made this mistake in the past, you're going to be fine, honestly, just it's an honest mistake, it could have happened to anyone, it has happened to people, you'll be fine, don't worry, they're not going to fire you. And sure enough, went into my meeting about midday, and basically I got told that the mistake that I had made was a big mistake, which I knew. In their own words, and I quote, "It's a mistake we cannot risk happening again." They didn't give me the opportunity to learn from the mistake. They didn't give me the opportunity to put my hands up and make sure that mistake was never going to happen again. They just decided to cut the problem off at the source and terminate my employment on the basis that I'd failed my probationary period. So once again, I've pursued a career in animal care, and once again, this is about the 5th or 6th time now where something's gone horribly wrong that's out of my control and I've had to leave the industry. I'd like to say the mistake was in my control, kind of it was, but I did the security checks, I did all the checks necessary, all the information was correct, all the verification was correct, so I honestly don't know how the mistake happened, but it did. I like to think it's fate that this has happened to me. I like to think it's fate and this is destiny and this is something telling me there's something better for me out there, and it's not in the animal care industry. Because no matter how many times I try and go for animal care, I always end up getting demotivated and upset or bullied or negative. I always get negative energy when I try and do anything in the animal care industry. So I'm really thinking or feeling that something out there is trying to tell me that it's not for me. So I've officially given up. I've officially given up on animal care. I don't care anymore. Because it's a hard industry. It's a hard industry to get into in the first place. So any opportunity is like gold dust, and that gold dust keeps slipping through my fingers. I've given up on the dream to become a vet nurse because after working at that vet's practice, I really got put off a nursing career in animal care, or a vet nursing career, because I did get to do a lot of training with the nurses. I did get to do a lot of work with the nurses, and I loved being I loved being an animal care assistant. The nursing side really put me off. And I don't know why, because I've always found it intriguing and I've loved it. But there was something about it this time that's just made me go, actually, this isn't for me. This has been my childhood dream since I was a babby, but this isn't for me. Once my contract got terminated, or once I failed my probation period, I started job hunting. I've applied for over 100 jobs on the very first 2 days that I was actually unemployed, or officially unemployed. And out of those 100 jobs, only 2 gave me an interview, I believe. One wasn't even actually an interview, it was an agency. It was a case of come in, register, away you go. So I've been working on an agency for the last 2 months. The second interview, unfortunately, they liked me, but I didn't get the job. No matter how many times I've applied, nowhere else has even bothered with a little bit of interest. I'm still technically on the job hunt because agency work, you're on a 0 hours contract for minimum wage, and at the minute they've got me on a midnight till 8 a.m. shift. I'm actually not long finished work, and it's currently like 9 o'clock in the morning. It's not easy. Like, transitioning back to night shifts has been actually pretty easy compared to what it used to be. The biggest or the hardest part of it is not being able to see Jason as often as I would like. Working on agency, with it being a 0 hours contract, is a nightmare because it means you're never guaranteed hours in any week whatsoever, and they can still have you employed. 1 week I only did 1 shift, another week I only did 2. Most weeks I was only doing 3 shifts. It's only been this week actually. It's only been this week that I've actually worked 5 days in a row. Thankfully, they've said that it's going to stay this way for a while. However, I found out by the full-time staff members, or the permanent staff members, that they're looking at getting rid of the agency soon and taking on full-time staff. And apparently they are actually interested in taking on the decent agency staff members and not the bad agency staff members. I'm one of the ones that they are contemplating giving a permanent contract, but there's a bit of debate as to which shift I'm going to be on. The shift leader on my shift is kind of hoping I'll stay on there. The 8 till 4 shift want me at night, but if I do the 8 till 4 shift at night, I won't be able to go to Lakita, which is my safe haven and my stress relief and my sanity place. So that's a very difficult option, an option I don't really want to take if I can help it. So I'm hoping the 12 till 8 shift will take me on. If not, I might be out of a job again by Christmas. I'll still be signed up with the agency. God knows where I'll go. Who knows, I might even have 2 weeks without any work because they'll have nothing for me. Great. So I'm having a bit of fun at the moment. On a more positive note, there is going to be some changes to my channel, and I do say this as a positive note. I've decided that my new dream and my new goals are actually going to be my hobbies, or hobby-based instead of career-based, because I've pursued a career my entire life and it's got me nowhere, and it's actually just made me miserable trying to pursue it. So I give up trying to pursue a decent career. So I'm going to actually pursue my hobbies and pursue goals and targets in my hobbies and my fitness. One of my targets or goals for next year is to hopefully enter a pole competition. Another goal I want to achieve, I still have the goal of doing 5 chin-ups in a row by the end of the year, but because of everything that's happened recently, I've kind of lacked training. And when it first happened, I actually started starving. Literally, I had no appetite whatsoever. It was really weird. I've not had that ever before. But since then, or more recently, all my bad habits have come back. So I'm binge eating, comfort eating, overeating, eating food that I know is going to set up my stomach. And it's not going well, to say the least. Thankfully, now that I actually have a bit of security, kind of, and I have a bit more stability and regularity, I can actually start planning my life again, in a sense. One of my goals for the end of this year is to still do 5 chin-ups in a row. That is still very much a goal. Whether or not it'll happen is a different matter. One of my goals for next year is to enter a pole competition. I have technically already entered one. However, I have not found out if I'm going to be in the show yet, because you kind of have to apply and then like the top so many entries get into the show. So I'm trying to be positive for that. I'm hoping I'm going to get into that. This channel as well is now going to be purely focused on my goals and my aspirations in my hobbies and my desire to pursue that. So it's going to be very pole based, very aerial based, very calisthenics based. Kind of was going that way anyway. Very fitness based, but fitness in the sense of I want to improve my fitness, I want to improve my stamina, my endurance, my strength, my resistance? I don't know. And I'm not too sure what the fourth one is, but stamina, flexibility, that's the one. But yes, those are the main areas I want to improve. I definitely want to improve my pole and aerial. Those are pole, aerial, calisthenics. I lost my track of thought. You get the general idea anyway. So this is going to be me pursuing, trying to achieve my goals and my dreams of becoming competitive pole or aerial or aerial competitor person thing. Obviously, obstacle course racing is still a big thing. I've not done any this year, which has really got me down, but I've also not ran practically at all this year. So I need to get back into running if I'm going to do obstacle course racing more often next year as well. So yeah, that is just the update, guys. I'm sorry it's actually been a bit of a ramble, but yeah, that lets you know what's been going on in my life. I will actually be uploading a second video by Monday at the latest, probably, which is going to be the video from my first ever in-house student competition with Lakita, which is the pole studio I go to. Yeah, basically my performance from their student competition last year. I hope you guys like it and look forward to it. Hopefully you'll see a lot more of me again. So I will see you next time, I guess. I don't know how to end my videos anymore. I've actually forgotten how to end videos. Adios. So I'm just gonna go, bye.